Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you found this video and you're ready to practice some yoga together. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss class videos like these. Follow along with the video that focuses on some basics in a LYT style yoga practice. And if you don't already know, I have a blog that corresponds with each of my classes explaining inspiration, physical benefits, and more. The link is in the bio. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is the reset, and this almost always starts out with a bridge. So lay back, bottoms of your feet on the floor, knees bent, and just push up through your heels, activating the glutes, feeling that activation along the back line of the legs. And it's during this part of the practice that I kind of like to throw something in to prepare our bodies for handstanding later in the class. Whether it be massaging up your forearm, or going on your palm, maybe pulling the fingers open, just a little bit of weight on each finger, going through each one, not forgetting the thumb, that meaty part of your hand that goes up to the thumb. Just really taking our time here and not forgetting that back line of our body, the power along the back of our legs, activated glutes, opening up these hip flexors here. You can stretch the arms up towards the sky, reach them overhead. You can weight and unweight the heels. Depending on how you're feeling, there's always an option to possibly march the legs and really stabilizing the core. Not letting the pelvis drop one side or the other when we lift the leg up. Awesome. Now we come down, and we can do one set of abdominals here. And then lift the legs up, or bring them really at any angle that you feel comfortable. There's more leverage as you come down, so that makes it more challenging. Always an option to bend the knees here. We try to open up the chest, interlace the fingers behind the skull, and just curl up. And remember, we're working the abs here. You can energetically look towards the abs and kind of direct that energy visually. Imagine your hip points, your ASISs, pulling in towards each other, down towards the pubic bone. We always inhale on the lower. We exhale, lift up. We picture that energy, that strength, kind of like a girdle wrapping around your abdominals. Inhale and lower. You can play with the legs a little bit, straightening, lowering. Coming back to center, inhale and lower. One last time, exhale, lift. If you straighten your legs, you can try to reach and curl that tailbone in. We squeeze the abs, juice them here on this one last rep. Then we inhale and lower. Now before we do our second set of abdominals, just a quick twist. Separate your feet to the edges of your mat, and just drop the knees. And this isn't just totally letting go. We're still activated in the glute, opening up the hip flexor. You can reach overhead, get a stretch along the whole side of the body. Opening up here. To the other side. I think the reset might be my favorite part of the classes. Many of us don't move throughout the day in certain ways that would allow us to just jump into a flow. So it's always good to have this kind of reset mind and the body. Another set of abdominals. Here we can add some isometric work. You can push on the thighs, and curled up, still energetically pulling the ASISs together, pushing the thighs away, not moving. And as I push, I'm not bunching up this energy up into my neck and shoulders, still keeping my scapula, my shoulder blades on my back, pulling together. Inhale, lower. We exhale, lift. Pushing, pushing. Straighten the legs. Flex and point the toes. We warm up the feet. Feel stretch all the way down the back of the calf, the hamstring as you flex. And point. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. I'm circling my ankles. I invite you to do the same. Other way. Still pushing on the thighs. Really a lot going on here. Inhale, lower. And always towards the end of the reset, coming into quadruped. All fours. We inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, hollow out. Inhale, drop the belly. And what you want to watch out for is keeping the spine long. When we inhale and drop the belly, yes, of course, we can exaggerate the movement and curl the head up and look towards the ceiling. That doesn't really do us any good. When we exhale, empty out. You can drop the head, really relax. You should be able to shake it out. Inhale, fill the belly, long spine, looking at the floor in front of you. Exhale, empty, curl, relax the neck. Come down to the forearms. The last move of the reset. Let's come into dolphin. It's a great pose. You really are kind of demanding some load in your upper core. Keep your shoulder blades pulled together. You can interlace your fingers in front of you if you'd like a little extra support. Otherwise, they could be anywhere from parallel to kind of like a diamond shape, like I'm doing. There's all sorts of different things you can do to play around in this pose. You can kind of walk out your feet by bending your knees, alternating. You always unweight the leg, open up in the hip. Add in anything that feels good for you here. Ooh, a lot of cracking. You can keep it long and circle. Anything you'd like. There's options in the upper body too if you feel like experimenting, unweighting your arms and keeping level here. It's very challenging. Perfect. Now come into a child's pose. And the next thing we're going to do is a sun 1. This is kind of a step between the reset and sun salutation A. It could be considered part of the reset, but it just feels different because we're standing. We inhale, reach up, exhale, fold, step the left foot back, keep the back toes curled, and drop the left knee. And a low lunge here. Reach up, The one thing I always like to point out here is that the front heel is energetically pulling backward on the mat. You don't see it moving. And same for the back knee. It's energetically pulling forward. They're squeezing together. I could really do whatever I want with my arms, but this base is so strong I'm not going to topple over. Exhale, plant the hands, step back with the knees lowered, come all the way down. Long spine, we're looking at the floor in front of us. Inhale, peel up, and exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're going to step the left foot forward, drop the right knee. Those back toes are still wrapped on the mat. And really like an opening sensation here. All sorts of things that you could do with the arms to really open up that whole side of the body, just like we did in the twist earlier. You can open up one way or the other. I really invite you to just explore the options in these poses and see what feels good for you here. Step in, inhale, reach up, exhale, fold. Step the left foot back, drop the left knee, and the top of the foot on the mat. Same thing we've got going on, the heel pulling backward, the knee pulling forward, super strong. You can inhale and open. You can even take the opportunity to further give yourself a nice forearm massage, get into the hands more. Exhale, plant the hands. Bring the leg back with the knees down, we lower. Inhale, peel up. Exhale, push the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Step the left foot forward. Top of the right foot on the mat. Sometimes they say pedicures to the mat. We inhale, reach up. And we really feel that stretch. Use the breath to kind of deepen into the moves. You'll see what I mean if you really breathe into the belly. The stretch will increase. Exhale, plant the hands, step forward. Just for a moment, hang out in this forward fold. The next thing we're going to do is sun salutation A. So we inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Hop or step back to plank. The important thing to remember here from plank is to try to keep the shoulder blades flat on the back. You can really ensure this by engaging those abdominals, keeping yourself lifted, your core light and strong. When we lower down, we try to keep the shoulders over the wrists and not just dip forward. And we inhale, peel up. We're not over-exaggerating the neck. Now go forth with those tips. And I always recommend doing about 3 to 5 sun salutation A. Stepping back. Careful, controlled lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hips up and back. Pushing into the hands. We really warmed up the hands, the wrists, the forearms. You can always hop to come forward. Handstanding is in your repertoire. It's a great place to start adding them in and playing around with them. Sun salutation A. Great heat builder, warming up the spine, utilizing the core. That's its purpose here in our practice. And breathing through it. Placing the breath and the movement together in a special way. Now moving into sun salutation B. Step forward. Again, I want to just hang out here in this forward fold. Knees heavily bent. Really let your torso rest on the top of your thighs.
Breathe deep into your belly. Give your inner organs some feedback with the breath pushing them onto your legs. Inhale, reach up, keeping the legs bent, chair pose. We exhale, fold. Adding this 3-part flow, the lower with the exhale. Inhale, chest peels up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Sun salutation be great for warming up the hips. We lift the right leg, inhale. We exhale, you can step it through. Step it as far forward as you can. And one tip is to kind of keep the core so tight and so lifted that you can just kind of float it through. You can always walk it forward a little bit more. Even if you're only stepping it this far forward, you can walk your hands back and readjust. Really make this practice your own, but what we're going to do is lift up into warrior one. Try to keep the back heel down. Exhale, step back. Come back. You can do one-legged plank down. You can drop the foot. You can always add extra push-ups here. We inhale, long spine, peel up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, warrior one. Both heels down. Exhale, plant the hands, lower down. Inhale, peel up. Exhale, hips up and back. And you can walk, hop, handstand your way to this forward fold. Deep bend in the legs. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale, let's do one more. You can always pause the video if you'd like to do more on your own or explore these positions. From down dog, we inhale, lift the right leg. You can always kind of hop and switch. Maybe come to a handstand in between. We inhale on the warrior and exhale to come down lower. Inhale, left leg lifts. Hop, switch. Inhale, warrior one, both heels down, open in the hip. Try to square the hips to the front of the mat. Exhale, plant the hands. Same tips, don't dip forward as you lower. Inhale, peel up. And exhale, push yourself into downward facing dog. Now, anytime you need during the practice, you can always just come to child's pose or downward facing dog. Just remind yourself of that breath that you've cultivated, and it's helping you to move through these poses, to get the benefits in the body. So now we move into our flow. I'm going to do some of my favorite essential moves that I always like to include in each flow. So from downward facing dog, I always like to do some sort of lunge pose, whether it be warrior one, a high crescent lunge, or even a low lunge like this and twist. And let's do that today. You can even drop the knee if you feel like it. But we have a strong base going on here. We're twisting in the upper core, not really like falling open and opening up in the lower half of the body. We inhale, come through this goddess pose. Always love this. Kind of very freeing for the upper part of the body because we are able to do whatever we want here. Forward fold. always experiment, putting weight on our hands here. Love side lunges. There's so many options for the side lunges. You can come and hop up. You can go and stand up and add in a little hop for fun. You can come upward with like the top half of your body and just travel, play around, make it like a dance. Either way, just make it fun and explore these movements. Then walk the hands forward. Come into half moon. Really strong through that standing leg. Flexing through the floating leg. Opening up in the chest. Reaching. Looking down at the mat. Balancing poses are great. And not needing to look up and find the horizon per se while you're balancing is really good for not just like your main body, I guess, but it's still part of your body, like your inner ear. Your balance. Okay. So then you come up and just kind of move through these balancing poses and practice being slow, strong, smooth, controlled. Figure 4, warrior 1. You can move through this. Even getting like a little bit of work pressing down into that standing leg. Moving into warrior 3. Stepping back into plank, lowering down. It's nice to mix up a practice, go from standing, balancing, down to the floor. And push ourselves up. Let's do a forearm quadruped. And get a little bit of motion in the upper body. Shrugging the shoulders, bring your shoulder blades together and apart. Pushing up into down dog, and doing it again on the other side. Stepping the left foot forward. Getting that high crescent lunge. Bringing it down to a twist. Inhale, open. And drop the knee. See what that feels like. Opening up to this goddess squat. Wow. Getting hot. Playing around with the arms. Getting some movement in the shoulders. Having some fun. And fold forward. Have fun with these side lunges. Whatever you want to do to add into them, play around. Maybe you don't want to fold over, you want to have a long spine out. Always remember to keep the spine long. Usually means looking at the floor in front of you and not curling the head up. Perfect. Walking the hands forward. Coming to a half moon with a strong left leg. Flex the right foot. Open the chest. And looking down at the floor, practicing that balance, trusting yourself, lifting the core. Slow and controlled. One-legged mountain. Squat and figure 4. Moving between these 2 positions. Unwrapping, warrior 3. Coming back to plank, coming all the way down. You do locust, bow, all sorts of things you could do to play around here. If you're in locust, you put your hands like they're in your back pockets, arms out at your sides. It's always important to keep a long spine. Activate the glutes. Keep the thighs pulling in towards each other. Forearms down, quadruped. And enjoy this last moment with your breath and your movement combined together. I'll finish with the flow. Something I love to do is to just kind of wind down before we get into Shavasana. I have some yin positions. Always an option to twist, look in one direction. And here I just recommend pausing the video and holding this maybe for 2 minutes, and then coming to the other side for another 2 minutes. So go ahead and do that. And just let your breath calm down, completely release the breath. And we'll meet back once we've done that. Okay, so now we've taken the time. Just extend the legs out in front of you. If there's anything else you'd like to squeeze in before the end of the practice, now is the time. You can inhale, take a big stretch all the way from the toes to the fingers. But we're going to end up on our backs, arms at our sides, palms up, eyes closed, completely releasing the breath. Our final relaxation pose, Shavasana. Pause the video, take about 5 minutes or more for yourself, absorb the benefits of the practice, appreciate your body. When you're ready, begin to bring awareness back to the body, the hands, the feet, the legs and your arms. And bend your knees, step your feet in. Give yourself a big hug. Roll over to one side. And as gently as possible, bring yourself back up to a seated position, palms together at heart center. And thank you for practicing with me today. Love you, honor yourself. And have an amazing day.